Page 61, Reveille. I was going to give a lesson on page 60, but I just don't have a lot to say on that, so I'm going to include page 60 in this lesson. They're talking about triads and inversions. So let's talk about triads and inversions. They're pretty simple, actually. I think they are. I hope you do too. A triad, if you remember, is a three-note chord. Any three-note chord in any arrangement. Doesn't matter where the notes are or what they are. 3 notes in the chord, it's a triad. Okay. The ones we normally deal with are the 1, 4, and the 5, the 1, 4, and the 5 chord of the keys. Although anything, let's take C major because it uses the white keys. Every step of the scale gets its own triad. They're all triads. Okay. So if I take a triad, this is called root position because it's every other note. And the bottom note identifies the name of the chord. The bottom note here is a C, therefore it is a C chord. We've already had major and minor. I don't get into major and minor here. We're just really after the chords here. I could turn it over, rearrange it, which we typically do. I mean, you get the 4th chord here. We've inverted them or turned them over. So the C chord can be turned over, put the C on top. It's still a C chord. Now I can put the E on top. If I put the G on top, we're back to root position. So we have the inversions. All right. You get used to seeing them in the music. They talk in the middle of the page about transposing. That's taking what you got there and putting it someplace else. I could do these. Look in the middle of the page 60 here, and you see these chords, these C chord, the inversions. Okay, they transpose it to G major. Well, all you're doing is you're starting on the other chord. Instead of a C chord, it will start on a G chord. That's all, and then I'm just going to do the inversions for the G chord. So that's transposing the original C's into G's. I could do the F's. We have F. Same thing, F and the inversions. I can do any chord. Hey, I'm good. But that's the way they work. If you have questions on them, let me know. To me, the hardest part about doing chords is trying to get all the notes down at the same time. Here, you're lowering the hand down. Let the wrist collapse a little bit each time. Try and just practice on that. Let's talk Reveille, because Reveille, we're just using these chords similar to what we had on 60. Yeah, it looks kind of ugly, but whenever you realize that all you're doing is playing a broken chord, then it's not quite so ugly once we get the rhythm down. So looking over, it's a page long, a page of music that is. Treble and bass clef, no sharps or flats in the key signature, so it's either in the key of C major or A minor, because A minor has no sharps or flats. It's the relative minor, it's related by key. Okay. Make sure you're doing scales on both. If I look at the end here is the fine at the end of the second line. That's the end of the piece. It's here. That's a C chord. That doesn't look, I say, wait a minute, well, they rearranged it. The E's up here, and we're doubling the C. We can do that because I got 4 notes here. So really, if I put that here, it's a C chord. It's just rearranged. So I'm figuring this is in C major. That may not stay there because if you look at the last 2 lines, it's actually in A minor. Here, it went down to A minor, but I call it in C major. We're starting and ending in C major. We could go to any other key in the middle, I don't care, but we're starting and ending on C major since C major. But as long as you're doing scales for both C major and A minor, you got them all covered. Common time or 4/4 time, that's right hand first, we have a pickup beat. If you look at the first 3 notes here, we got a thumb here, a 3 on C, and here, that's our position, right there. It's 3 and 1, 3 and 1, and 2 and 3. 1 and 2. So all you're doing is playing these notes. It's just a broken chord. And then a measure 5, we're just come down here, and now we're in this position. Now we got a G chord. However, at the end of the line, scrunch up and use 4th finger. That way you can come down for the C. we're in position for what's coming. So we're here and we want to be here. So we just use a 4 and we're here. And then going on from measure 9, we're in this position. A minor, okay. And then the measure 13, you come down here and we have G sharps. It's an E major chord. It's a sort of an E major. And at the end of the line, once again, the next to the last measure at the bottom, use 4 finger on the G. They don't tell you that, sort of. They do and they don't. And here. They don't tell you that because it's the same kind of pattern you had at the end of the second line. And a lot of times in music, they don't give you the fingering every time you get that pattern. You have to remember what you did. Good luck with that, I don't. But if you forget, you take a pencil and you put in a 4 over that G sharp in the next to the last measure to remind you that it is here. Left hand, well, you got the chords and the inversions. So you got C chord in the first inversion, second inversion, root. And then G chord, same thing. And then here. And then A minor and its inversions. And then the E major chord. Okay, put the hands together. Well, the left hand's just doing dotted half. Just make sure you lift up the left hand on beat 4. Get the idea? You put the hands together at your speed, then go back over it carefully and get rid of the hesitations. You keep moving this left hand and it has to happen in the 4th beat during the rest. So you can't hesitate. You got to be ready. You got to look down at the keyboard to see where you're moving to, but you're only looking down long enough to get you there. And then you look back at the music. You get to where you're just glancing down. You only have to glance down to see, I mean, you know what a keyboard looks like. You're just glancing down to see where you're going. Just move your eyes, just real quick. Just boom, boom, boom. Just eyes go down right quick and you're right back at the music. You can move your head a little bit, but don't move your head a lot. You don't have time. And you get a headache eventually. Now once you have that, then we think about the articulation. We have staccatos, staccato, hinging at the wrist short. So, right there, first full measure. That stays down until you play that. There. At the end of the second line, you're here and you're going on. You lift up the scene of a phrase, you go on. That's fine. And at the end, bottom here, there's a DC al fine there. DC, remember, means go back to the beginning. So you're going to come back up here. So you got to go from here to here. Well, the right hand plays first. So you just lift it up. As you're playing that, move that. So it's one hand at a time. So then once you have that, we think about the dynamics, which it starts out loud. That's going to be the right hand. These chords need to be sort of a medium soft in the background. The third line down, soft. These chords are very soft then. Last line, you see the crescendo, measure 13. You're going to go back up, but you're only going to go up to moderately loud because that's what's in the last measure. So you're going to go from soft to moderately loud. If you don't plan it out, you'll be moderately loud by measure 14. You'll be there. See, I'm there already. You have to plan it out. Well, we have 3 measures here, so I'm going to do it maybe a measure at a time. So in measure 13, I'm going to stay soft. Now I'm going to go up just a hair, just a little bit more. Now I'm moderately loud. So each measure just went up just a little bit. Over time, you'll feel this gradual getting louder. But I'm doing it like, it's called a musical motif. It's a short pattern of notes, a short set of notes. And this is it. That's the motif. And it keeps repeating. It keeps repeating. So each time I get the motif, I go up just a little bit here in this case. Now the speed, animato means animated, which means kind of quick. It has to be accurate. The idea here is you're waking people up. Get up. Wake up. Yeah. Give me a couple more cups of coffee and I can go a lot faster. You don't need to go that fast. Go this. Whatever you can do accurately. Just keep in mind on these chords, I'm just walking on the piano. I'm not here. And you put it on here. Even with the staccatos, I'm just transferring weight to it. Remember the natural accents. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm exaggerating them so you can hear them, but you just want to feel these. So that pickup beat to here sounds. Now try and keep them even, and that's my problem. This, I want to go boom. They got to be even here. 1 and 2 and then keep them even all the way through. Let's play this together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do the louds and softs. I'm going to play it all about the same. I'll do the staccatos. I will do the DC and the whole bit. So I'll give us 3 counts because we come in on beat 4. 1, ready, go. To the top.